All right, so I want to talk about Agents of Mayhem. It's that new game that's being delivered by Volition and I believe Deep Silver. Deep Silver being one of the developers behind Metro and I believe also Dead Island. And I was listening to one of the kind of funny shticks where they go on about how they didn't put multiplayer in the game. Wouldn't it be better to hop in with your friends and play this? And I just want to say one thing. Why the fuck do we need to fucking force multiplayer into fucking everything? Like, I understand there's some great single-player games out there, okay? Like Witcher 3, Skyrim is single-player, things like that, okay? If these guys want to make a single-player game that's a single-player experience, regardless of how over-the-top and fucking ridiculous it's going to be, then, like, man, more fucking power to them. Because, like, we've had some fucking really, really good, like, narrative experiences, like Spec Ops The Line, for instance, that have multiplayer, that's fucking shit. The multiplayer is fucking garbage. Nobody wants it. Just like in Tomb Raider. Who the fuck plays that multiplayer? Nobody. Nobody wants to play that. I mean, I'm sure there's probably like a handful of people that play it, but, it's like, I mean, I guess different strokes for different folks. But I think it's a little, like, over the top, and I don't think that something like that is a good idea. I really am like really against forcing multiplayer into things that aren't supposed to be predominantly multiplayer experiences first. Call of Duty is a predominantly multiplayer experience. Oftentimes their campaigns are very good, but predominantly when people buy that game, they buy it for the multiplayer. If you buy Battlefield, you sure as shit don't buy that for the campaign. The campaigns aren't that great. I mean, they're not like the worst campaigns I've ever played, but you buy it for the multiplayer. You buy it for the progression multiplayer. That's why you buy the game, period. So when Agents of Mayhem comes out, good. I'm glad they don't have fucking multiplayer in it. I still think that, I don't know if the game's going to be great. I mean, they haven't like really put a lot of it out there. I know they have like this little trailer on like a porn website, and I'm not sure if that's the best way to get eyes to your product. I mean, it's definitely like an over-the-top experience, and I definitely can see like where they're coming from with that, but I'm not sure that that's the best way to like pull people towards you, especially with Destiny 2 like right on the horizon. Like I think they've got a lot of competition, but I do hope the best because I did enjoy the Saints Row games. Even if I didn't necessarily love Saints Row 4, I did think it was fun for the time that I spent with it, and it was kind of a quick outing for me. So, but I do know some people that like absolutely loved that game. So more power to them. Secondly, I want to sort of address the Trump situation and the transgendered in the military thing. I'm going to kind of like not take a stance here because I don't want to have to defend myself later for saying quote unquote the wrong thing. But I think that at this point, like, there really isn't anything that we're going to be able to do about it. And I do feel for people that go through the struggle. I feel for people who have been in the military or are, or are currently serving and, having to feel like they're not going to be appreciated, even though, like, they are putting their lives on the line. At the same time, I do take into account that the suicide rate is pretty high. But, I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, the suicide rate for men is very high in general. So, I mean, I don't think that should be a deciding factor as to whether or not we allow people to defend their country. I guess I kind of think that people should just be able to do what they want. But that kind of leads me into a bigger topic, which is, like, the fact that, like, we're constantly dividing ourselves. Like, we're constantly splitting everything up. We don't look at somebody and say, oh, hey, they're a person and they deserve respect. We need to respect them because they're another human being. No, we just, like, jump to conclusions and start making, like, irrational judgments. I like, based on, like, I guess fear. I mean, I guess you could say fear is, like, the biggest, like, motivational factor in, like, the hate brigade or even, like, people that fight, quote unquote, against hate, like the liberals and things like that. Like, I think that, like, not everything is a bad idea. I just think that we're focusing in the wrong areas. I feel like we're focusing too much on the individual. We're focusing too much on, like, somebody on their own, and we're not focusing enough on, like, lifting everybody up so that we're all equal. Like, it's like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to have these rights, and I want to do this, and I want to have these rights. But, like, we're not, it's like I don't see enough people fighting for it because, like, we're just people. It's like, they deserve it because this. It's like, no, they don't deserve it because because they're transgender or because they're black or because they're Asian. They deserve it because they're human beings. Human beings we should always be on a level playing field, because if we're not, man, we're never going anywhere. So, I mean, that's all I gotta say on that. I think at this point, like, I think you should probably allow them to serve in the military. Period. End of fucking story. I don't think this was a good move by the president. I'm not going to pretend to be like some kind of political genius. I'm not, but I think it hurts us in the long run, and I think it's pretty anti-progressive. So that's my stance on that. Now we're going to kind of switch it up again here, where I guess recently Angry Joe, who's a pretty big YouTuber, he does the angry reviews, which are fucking awesome, by the way. If you haven't watched them, you probably should. Essentially, he kind of told his fan base that he wants to take some time off. This guy's been doing this for 9 fucking years, dude. 9 years of, like, stellar content. Really, really good stuff. But I guess at the same time, now he's, like, kind of doing more, I wouldn't say low-key stuff, but sort of easier stuff in addition to what he's been doing. And so, like, he wants to take, 2 months off. And I guess there's a lot of people who are against him doing that. And I would say, if you don't make videos, if you don't edit video, if you don't produce content, you probably shouldn't be telling somebody what they should be doing with their time. Especially somebody who's been doing it so well for so long. Like, if we suddenly looked at, James Rolfe and if he took a break from the Angry Video Game Nerd, which he has, we're not going to shit on him because he's not making any more of those episodes, or because he's not making them as much, We're not going to shit on him for that. So, like, why are we shitting on Angry Joe for wanting to step away from doing reviews? Like, he just give the guy a break. He's still producing content. He's quote unquote taking 2 months off. He's like, they're still producing content, and the guy's got employees to pay, man. It's not just him. Like, let's lay off the guy. Lay off of him for a little while. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that the guy had to, like, get rid of comments on his videos because people were being so fucking toxic. It's like, stop. And, like, I understand it, man. Like, some people came in and they're probably looking at it like, I look forward to these reviews, and if these reviews aren't there, then that's a huge problem. Well, dog, like, there's tons of channels on YouTube, okay? If you really want to watch a review on something, then go do it. I mean, I get it. If that's, like, your main thing, like, yeah, it's upsetting. Do I want him to, like, review some stuff in the next 2 months? Yeah, I would, because I love his reviews. But, like, I understand that as a person, man, everybody needs a break. Certainly a mental health break, which I feel like has been, like, a big thing, especially, today. But that's really all I got for you today. I don't have too much else to talk about, I guess. I know the YouTube algorithm thing is kind of fucked up. The way, like, if you don't post as often, you don't, like, end up in the algorithm correctly, and it's hard for people to search your videos. That kind of sucks. But, like, I don't get a ton of views anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. I kind of just do this because I like doing this. I find it fun. And, I just want to make content for other people. And if they enjoy it, then I enjoy it. So that's really all I got for you. If you have any questions or comments, please hit me up in the comment section below. And, if you want to see more of what I got here, hit the subscribe button. And I'll try to get some stuff out as quickly as I can. Have a good day.